You won't believe the feature that this builder put into their backyard of this amazing model home today. In just a second, we're about to tour this beautiful model home, and we're gonna discuss as well where we're at today, who the builder is, and just what it means to live here in Jacksonville, Florida. So with that being said, let's get into this home tour right now. All right, come on, let's go and check out this model home and check out everything it has to offer, including, like I said, that amazing feature that you're not gonna believe they were able to fit in this house. So right away as we come in, you'll notice we have these tall ceilings for this front porch. It's a really good size front porch, all things considered. Gives you plenty of room to be able to come in and not have to worry about getting wet during a storm. And then we come into the house. So here in the house, we have smooth walls. It opens up to us to the living room, the kitchen, the dining. But right away, we're greeted with these really warm wood floors that are throughout the whole first floor. And I love seeing something like this with these model homes because it gives you an idea of just what you can do with yours and shows you if you wanted to buy this exact house that you could do the same thing with the builder. We also have this wood paneling wall, which they did a two-tone with the black wood up top and then the more warmer wood color down below. Really gives it a very pristine look, gives it really a look that just gives it a high-end feel, but at a very affordable price as well. In addition, as you'll see here, we also, underneath the stairwell, have storage. Now, obviously they're using it because it's a model, but we have storage underneath the stairwell as well, because again, when you have a home like this, which is on a 40-foot wide lot, we want to make sure that we maximize the inside of the house as well, with giving plenty of storage and giving a good flow throughout the home. So as we continue to come in, maybe I don't put a chair there. But as we continue to come in, you'll see here too that we have 10-foot ceilings, which makes the space feel really large, really inviting. The living room here is very well designed. They even did some custom cabinets underneath the TV console. So you have that built-in TV console with this specific model, which again, just kind of shows you what you can do with the builder if you desired. We also have the recessed lighting, and we have the surround sound speakers, which they tend to put in their models. It's not always something you're gonna get when you buy a home with a builder, but it gives you an idea of what you can do if you want it with that builder when you build with them. And all this is to say that if you have any questions about where we're at today, which builder we're walking through today, which model this is, or what it would cost to get some of these design features you're seeing, you've got to reach out to me with a call, a text, an email, because I'm always here to help answer any and all questions. Then we get to our kitchen. So the kitchen here, as you'll notice, it's a very well-sized kitchen. They did a really nice job with the two-tone cabinets that you'll see throughout this. And then they transitioned it with a very nice, very sleek white quartz countertop, which goes very well with these darker wood color cabinets and just wood trimming or black trimming throughout. And so realistically, I love when the builder does this because it gives you an idea of how you can design it yourself. And it's a very, like I said, clean look, really sophisticated look. And really throughout this whole house, it's something you're gonna notice is it's very much designed to give off that sophistication for someone who's looking for something more modern. In addition, we do have our oversized, large farm style sink. This is a ceramic sink, really nice to see. It is a Kohler sink, which Kohler is the brand of choice for most builders. You'll see here too with the range that the backsplash behind the range is going to be that quartz backsplash to match the quartz countertops. And you'll notice too that this is a gas cooktop. Now here in Jacksonville, not every community has gas automatically. Some of it is gonna have bottled gas, but in this scenario, this community we're in today actually has gas at the street. So every house in the neighborhood is automatically gonna be hooked up for gas, and typically you're gonna have at least 4 hookups. One will be it'll be for your gas stovetop, one will be for a gas water heater, and then you may have one for a gas dryer, maybe a gas hookup outside for a gas grill, but you'll normally get typically 3 to 4 throughout the home. In addition, the cabinets here, they did go up to the ceiling with them and finish off with some crown molding, which I love. And another thing I love too is that they actually did soft close cabinetry for all of their cabinets and all their drawers. So realistically, you don't have to ever worry about accidentally slamming a drawer or a cabinet because of the way this was designed, which is not a huge cost. Everything is soft close. And then again, just to kind of show the darker cabinets, you do have a pull out for your trash. So this is more your black cabinets to go with your wood cabinets. And then we do also have our microwave oven combo, which you could most likely transition this into a double oven if you so choose. Only way you'll know what the cost would be to do that is by reaching out to me so we can discuss it all with the builder as well. Then we have our dining room. So this dining room, it's a good size. It fits 6 comfortably, as you can see here. I don't believe you could do probably more than 6, maybe 8, maybe a slightly larger table. But overall, I do love the fact that it opens up to our living room and our kitchen and has really great natural light with all the windows leading out to our backyard. So those are all great aspects across the board. And in addition, you do have your single door here off of the dining room to go with the sliders that you saw most likely in the living room. So you have 2 different access points to get to your backyard from your home, which in my opinion just makes sense to do. We do have a small pantry here as well. So again, for all of your food and whatnot, you have a pantry there for that. Cabinetry is also obviously going to be for all your pots, pans, glasses, silverware, all that good stuff. And then we get to our office, which is kind of interesting. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this, but the builder actually did almost like a faux wall here with how they positioned those pieces of wood to kind of give you some privacy while still keeping it open without having to completely wall it off. I actually kind of like the look of that. It kind of goes with that more like modern kind of design in my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but overall, it is a great look to see and really is something different that really just shows you there's a lot of different things you can do with different builders depending on what you're looking for, including something just like this. But this office space, it's a great size. It's really all you need. If you did want it closed off, you obviously could do that as well. But overall, I do like too that they did the cabinets in here as well. Again, soft close as well. It just really finishes off the space, really gives it a nice look across the board. Because again, at the end of the day, this is a price point that is a very affordable price point for this neighborhood, all things considered. So to be able to get all these little items, whether it's the additional cabinetry, the double oven if you wanted that, all of this recessed lighting, it's great to see that you can do all of that. We also do have a little bit of cabinetry over here next to our door-to-our 2-car garage. This could be more of a drop zone. This is also where if you wanted to do more of a area to be able to sit down, take your shoes off for storage, you could easily do that as well with that space. So you do have some options there. And then lastly, for our first floor, we do have our half bath. So because this is a 2-story house and all of our bedrooms and bathrooms are upstairs, we do have a half bath downstairs for guests, so they don't have to go upstairs. And one thing I love about this half bath is, and again, maybe you wouldn't do this, but they did it for the model, is they did the tile up to the ceiling all throughout. So it gives it a really clean look and really kind of changes the look overall, pretty much we're used to seeing with different model homes. So I actually love seeing that. And it's one of those things that's not always the largest cost, in my opinion, has one of the largest impacts for space like that. So we're gonna go upstairs next, but before that, I just wanna highlight, again, if you've seen our videos on this channel, I always like to highlight this, but they did the open railing, that open metal railing, gives a very high-end look and really keeps the stairwell open to the first floor. So I just like to bring that up because that's one of those upgrades that if you're gonna do with the builder. Don't wait till after closing. It's way more of a mess, especially after you've moved in. And for the cost, it's just one of those things I always suggest to do. And you also have the wood treads. With that being said, let's now go upstairs and check out the second floor of this amazing model home. So now that we're upstairs, I do want to highlight that because of the 2-story house, and I didn't highlight it as much on the first floor, but because of the 2-story with it being open like this, I do love the fact that your entryway, your foyer, you do get like 20-foot tall ceilings. And when you look at it from upstairs, it really is very expansive with the view, especially as we begin to look down towards living room. But now that we're upstairs, again, I want to highlight that they continued that wood flooring that which we're starting to see builders do more and more of, all throughout the first floor, other than the bathrooms and the bedrooms and the laundry room. But up here, we do have a little loft, a little bit of a game room. You can do different things with it. It's not the largest space, but it's nice to have it as almost like a landing when you come up here, and gives up space for the kids to be able to have their own space. Again, if you want to make it more like an office for them, like a place for them to do their homework, you could. Again, a place for them to play their games, you could. So it just gives you an idea of what you could do up here as well for them with this loft. And then off of it, we have our laundry room. So the laundry room is not the biggest, I'm gonna be quite honest there, but yet they found a way to really give you everything you need. So we have cabinetry up above for storage of whatever we may need to store. They still continue the soft close with it. They give you that that laundry sink here. That is not always common to get here in Jacksonville. And for a lot of people, you may be watching this, you may be up north, you may be out west. It's not always a common practice to get a sink here. So to be able to show you that, be able to see that a floor plan, even on a 40-foot wide lot like this, can give you that is huge. So I do love the fact that this builder did that. We do have our side-by-side washer dryer. Sometimes you'll be a front loader, sometimes it'll be a top loader. Just depends on what you like. And then I do want to highlight this flooring because it's really kind of a cool pattern. This is all a tile flooring, but they did a wood look tile with some smaller pentagon tiles with it, or hexagon tiles with it. And it's a very interesting, almost like a 3D look, and goes with that geometric or like modern look with it as well, that honestly I do really like to see and like how it came out. So very cool with the laundry room. And then it brings us to our bedrooms. So they have these bedrooms and bathrooms stacked. So we're gonna be going bedroom, bedroom, bathroom, and then primary. But our first bedroom here, obviously, is gonna be for a kid. This bedroom is a good size all in all. It's not gonna be the largest bedroom out there. Again, for the size of this house, which we will discuss shortly, they really did maximize what they could in certain spaces, but other spaces not so much. But this bedroom, you still have 2 nightstands. You do still get your full-size bed. There's a small dresser in here as well. Still a good bit of natural light. And then we'll finish it off just by highlighting the closet, which is a standard size, but at least they did the sliding doors for this closet instead of those pesky bifold doors that just seem to always break. So I do like seeing that. Even if it may not be the biggest bedroom, it's nice that they still gave you everything you can need in it. And then with bedroom 2 here, same thing, relatively good size. They have this one set up as a nursery, so we do have the 2 smallest dressers with the nursery in the middle. I should know the name of this, I don't. Again, size of the bedroom is pretty good. And then we do have the same situation. We have a standard size closet with the sliding doors. So all in all, again, everything you really need. Are the bedroom sizes maybe smaller than some of the other homes we've seen? Of course. But for the price that this one's at, which we will discuss at the end or later on this video, you can't ask for much more. Then we get to our guest bathroom upstairs. And this guest bathroom, they did give us a double vanity with a very nice walkway in. They use more of that bubble tile for the floor, which I think is just a very clean look, especially when you offset it with that wood look cabinet. Tan cabinet. And then the tile in here, they did more of your standard square tile, but it's a very good size tub with it. And I love the fact that they did the tile up to the ceiling. One thing that would have been kind of cool is they did go with more of that black hardware. If they had done a different color hardware, maybe it would have stood out more. Just something to kind of think about. But the black still does look really good. And when you look at the vanity, you can kind of see what I mean, because they did the white top with the black hardware, so they contrast very well, whereas in the shower, maybe not so much. We do get our linen closet as well here, to give you an idea that you still do have space for that as well, right off of your bathroom. And then it brings us to our primary. So let's check out the primary next. All right, so with this primary, when we come in, right away you're gonna notice they did a tray ceiling in here, gives it more height, makes the space feel much larger, which is one of the reasons why you'll see builders use trays quite a bit. I personally love them for that reason, and they just give it a really nice look. Kind of breaks up that monotony of the same ceiling height throughout. But also what I like about this space is it is a good size room even without that. You know, we have our nice size king size bed here with our 2 oversized nightstands. They did do a nice kind of wood wall here to kind of break up the space as well, give you that accent wall. So they didn't just paint it, they also did some different elements with the wood as well. So that is a really cool feature. One thing I hadn't mentioned yet, but throughout this house too, they did do the Craftsman style with the doors, and they did the upgraded trim package. And with the Craftsman style doors for the trim, all it really means is it was cut to size on site, so it wasn't like a prefab, you know, door trim that you see with a lot of other homes here in Jacksonville. In here as well, they did continue that same wood flooring, which I do love to see that. Again, that only gives us carpet in the other 2 bedrooms, not in here. And we also have tons of natural light with all these windows, which if you are someone who's been to Florida before, been to Jacksonville before, or used to live here, you know that, that people here in Jacksonville, we love our natural light. So it's great when the builder kind of incorporates that into how they design their floor plans. So I do love to see that. Then we come around this corner that you almost don't even see when you first come into the room. And it's gonna be next to our closet first, and then our bathroom. But the closet, you'll notice it's actually a really good size. You know, whereas we were a little shrunk, so to speak, on the guest bedrooms and guest bedroom closets, this bedroom, they really made sure to maximize the size of it along with the closet space. And they finished it off to really just put an emphasis, you know, make a, you know, sticking point on it by giving us these custom closets throughout the space to show you what you could do yourself if you so desired, whether it's with the builder or if it's after you buy a home with this builder. So really cool to see. I love when the builders do that as well. Then we come to our primary bathroom. And with this primary bathroom, we do have our double vanity. They did add some additional cabinetry between the vanities to have as much space as possible for storage. Again, you know, ceiling height is good in here, plenty of recessed lighting. And then it brings us to our walk-in shower. Now this walk-in shower, they do have, I guess not necessarily a full walk-in, but you know, you get the step up and then step down into the shower. And they use that seamless glass to really maximize the look of it. Really gives it a high-end feel again. I know that's something I keep mentioning, but it really is the truth. And I love that they did the tile up to the ceiling with this shower. Now, one thing I would have loved to have seen here is maybe a little nook for your toiletries, your soaps, your shampoos. So we didn't get that. You know, I know a lot of people watching this would probably be like, well, I'd love to see a rain head here as well. That's not always something that's always a given, but would be cool as well. It does give you an idea of what you can do there, or what you may want to do there. And then we do have our water closet here off to the side as well. So really, even though it's not the largest home we've seen, they did a good job of maximizing the primary bedroom and bathroom despite the lack of size with this house. But there is still more because, you know, we haven't been outside yet. So let's go ahead and check out the backyard. And believe it or not, there's gonna be a feature back there that I was shocked when I first saw, so I think you will be too. So let's get outside right now. So coming outside right away, you'll notice we have the sliding glass doors, obviously, but it leads us to our back porch. So this back porch, it's a very good size. You know, it is all covered as well, which makes a huge difference. They still give you recessed lighting with it and the ceiling fan. So really it gives you pretty much everything you need, especially if, you know, if you wanted to extend it, you still could as well. But also you still could screen it in too if you desired. It's just in this case, the builder left it open because they really wanted to highlight what else is back here besides this back porch. So as we continue along, you'll notice as we, you know, turn the camera, we have this amazing oversized pool. And the reason I call it oversized is because, again, you would not expect to have a pool of this size on a home site that is only 40 foot wide. And the reason for that is because this builder designed most of their home sites in this section of the neighborhood to have really deep lots, so that even though you're not super wide with your lot, you have a lot of depth to work with, such as a home like this, where they could push the pool further and further back. So I love the fact that they have the little sitting area out here, you know, the little reclining area to be able to tan in the water, you know, to relax in the water. That's a very cool feature to have. Obviously the pool, they finished it off with some nice little waterfall effects in the back corner. Some nice lighting in there as well. But there is still more with it as well. As you'll see with their reclining area out here, you know, this is all going to be turf in this section, so that way, you know, we're not having to worry about upkeep as much, at least for this section. Because again, when you're living in Jacksonville, you want to really be able to enjoy the nature, you know, enjoy just being able to utilize your space whenever you want it, and not have to constantly deal with constant yard work, or at least a lot of yard work. So I do like when these builders turf their backyards like this, because it really does just kind of make it very xeriscape and very much easy to maintain. Then they put this wall here with the built-in gas fireplace. And again, you could put a TV up there as well. And they did this for two reasons. One, it's a beautiful look with the way they did it. But two, it also gives you more privacy from your neighbors, because of the fact that this is a neighborhood where you have to have more of that open fencing. So when you have that open fencing, you can create structures like this to kind of act as that privacy fence, so to speak, to really be able to, you know, have more privacy in your backyard. And then continue on from there, we do come down to our lower section. So down here we do have our gas grill, and this can be more of our you know, outdoor kitchen. You know, they have the gas grill here. They have your trash over here. You know, you could easily do more as well if you wanted to, like a mini fridge or whatnot. But they also gave us this table here built in with this granite countertop. So if you want to put some bar stools here, so that way once you get done cooking, you can just move the food here and eat it, you easily could. But if you just want to use it as more of a hosting area for the food, to be able to make it more of like a buffet style, you could do that and then come over to your 8-seater table out here to then eat. So again, I mean, this is a lot of space out here, you know, a lot you can do with it. You know, obviously this specific model we're in today does back up to water followed by preserve. And the builder still does have lots in here with this water and preserve at this time. So if you liked what you saw here, you could easily duplicate this exact same floor plan on a lot very similar to this one right this second. So again though, you gotta reach out to me to learn more about that and figure out what it takes to make that happen. But now we're gonna dive into the floor plan we're in today, the specs of it, who the builder is, what the neighborhood is, and just why people are moving to this area and this location here in Jacksonville, Florida. So let's get into that right now. That finishes up the walkthrough of this amazing model home today. You know, when I talk to people when it comes to moving to Jacksonville, and you know, a lot of the times the question I get asked is, you know, Justin, you know, why should I move to Jacksonville? You know, where should I move to Jacksonville if I do decide to move here? And really, you know, what builders do I have as options? And to start off, you know, realistically, the reason why people move here to Jacksonville is because we do have an amazing cost of living compared to some of the other major cities here in Florida. We have amazing schools in certain parts of Jacksonville, such as St. Johns County, which is actually where we're at right this second. And really, it's just a very family-friendly city that really attracts people here and keeps people here. So that really is a big reason as far as why people constantly want to move here to Jacksonville. In addition, we have so much different attraction here, whether if it's within the community, having amenities, which we'll get into in just one second, so you just gotta hold on there, or if it's about having things to do. You know, we have a lot of different sporting events with a, you know, Major League Football team, Minor League Baseball team, Minor League Hockey, arena football team. You know, you have a lot of different things you can do there as well, but you also aren't too far away from a lot of other things or a lot of other cities as well. So if you want to go to the beach, you know, where we're at right now, you're only about 30 minutes or so away from the beach. And you know, even though traffic sometimes can be a little bad here, traffic in general is not nearly as bad as other cities like Tampa or Miami or Orlando here in Florida. But if you do want to travel to Tampa, you're only 4 hours away. If you want to travel to Orlando, you're about two and a half hours away. If If you want to go to Miami, you're about 5 hours away. So if you want to make a weekend trip out of it to go to those cities, you still can without having to fly, but you still could fly as well if you wanted to. Because realistically, we do have a really good airport here, and it's about 45 minutes or so away from where we're at right this second in this community. In addition, near the airport, we actually have our Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, which has really constantly progressed and become bigger and better each year, being the fact that it is a private zoo, and they're actually opening up a manatee exhibit not too far from here, as far as timeline goes. So overall, there's a lot of attraction, a lot of things to do here in Jacksonville, which is why people do actively seek out this city to move to. But as far as where we're at today, without making you wait any longer, we are actually in the master plan community of Silverleaf, and specifically, we're in the Newbrook neighborhood, which is a neighborhood built exclusively by Toll Brothers Homes, which is a national home builder. And Toll Brothers Homes here actually will have their own amenities just for Newbrook, but you will also get amenities just by living in Silverleaf. And those amenities are going to be multiple in nature. And right now they have one amenity center, but they're going to have close to 10 once the whole community is built out. So there's a lot of attraction just locally as well, so that if you have kids, they always have something to do, whether if it's going to the local amenities or the overall community amenities as well, to hang out with friends or family, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of different things you can do there in the community. But as far as the house itself, here in Newbrook, this specific house is in their 40-foot wide home lot section. And this floor plan is actually the house and floor plan, which, believe it or not, is actually 2120 square feet. So it's actually a really good size when you consider it's on a 40-foot wide home site. And they really did maximize the look and feel of this house by doing that amazing pool in the backyard, backing up to the preserve, and some amazing design features on the inside as well. So this specific model we're in today is not going to be at that base price that I'm about to mention, but it is good to know what you can be at if you desired it with this home, and get an idea of where you're probably at budget-wise with those same design features. But this house and floor plan, it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath floor plan, has that 2-car garage like I mentioned. We didn't show it off because it is the sales center right now, so there are people with Toll Brothers in there. But Toll Brothers is a great builder here in the area, definitely one of the better ones that we tend to check out and view on this channel. And so ultimately, they also do a lot for you as the consumer when it comes to their pricing, their incentives. Now, I will say when it comes to pricing and incentives, they're always have to change. So what they are as you're watching this today may be different than what it was when this video was shot. So again, to know exactly what the pricing is right this second, as well as the incentives, you just gotta reach out to me with a call, a text, an email. Shoot, if you wanna just go to the description of this video, there'll be a link to my calendar further in the description. You can schedule time to reach out to me for us to have a face-to-face or a Zoom call, or even just a phone call. Always here to help. But I can always help get you the most pertinent information. All you have to do is reach out. But right now, the current pricing on this specific floor plan is $446,995. I know I'm reading off the sheet, but I'm reading off the sheet just so that way you can actually see that that is exactly what it is right this second. And as far as incentives go, currently, Toll Brothers is offering $5,000 towards your closing costs if you use their preferred lender. But they're also offering what they call flex cash to use towards different design elements if you do build with them. And sometimes those can even be used on their inventory homes as well. Now, what's a really cool thing right this second, and again, this is definitely subject to change, but right this second, Toll Brothers on some of their inventory homes are even offering a free golf cart just by buying with their houses. So for a neighborhood like Silverleaf, which is considered a golf cart community, you're already set because you're gonna get one if you buy one of their inventory homes. So again, just another cool little feature that you can get with them currently. With that being said, if you have any questions, you gotta reach out to me, but I'll see you guys again in our next video.